Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome back to From the Depths. So, you are looking at the latest craft I've designed. It's a nice little fighter bomber. Now, I could have gone through a building episode, but because of the nature of planes, it can be a little bit hit or miss, and you have to go backwards and forwards, trying to fiddle with things to get them to work properly and to optimize them. So what I did was just build it, and I'm going to show you what it's really made of now. So if I go and bring up the HUD, we should be able to just teleport to this one I made earlier. Right. Hello! Welcome to my demonstration barge. So, this is basically the internals of the fighter. So starting over here, you can see that we have a Diddy engine, right? This engine fits in a 3x3x3 with tiny little bits of fuel added, like there and there. And I think it's got some under here. And then I've got some fuel on the front. And then AIs in the middle. Now, here's a really cunning plan. This engine is hilariously fuel inefficient. If I, can I, like, get the... Come on, give me the engine. I saw it. You can show me the engine. There we go. Power per unit of fuel. Fuel use at 100% is 21.1. 76 per unit of fuel. That actually will go down as soon as the drive turns on because it'll start overheating. It won't like fully overheat, but it'll get like much more inefficient. I think it goes down to about 26 or something. So this thing drinks fuel. And the issue being, if it drinks fuel, that we're just going to run out of fuel really quick. So you can see that I stapled some RTGs to it. In fact, we've got two 2-meter and a 4-meter RTG. What these do is they create power, energy, by means of basically the decay of isotopes, which goes through a thermocouple to generate energy, which then gets dumped into these batteries. These batteries then use the electric engine next to them to turn this into power that you can use for, say, the jets. If we go over here, you'll notice that, oh my god, it's flying really slow. Why is this? Well, because currently this is just running off RTGs. It's actually not using its main engine, because if it used main engine, it would run out of fuel and fall out the air. Well, it wouldn't fall out the air, the RTGs would keep it afloat, but it wouldn't be able to do any combat stuff. This is incredibly cunningly designed, or at least I think so. Basically, when in combat, the engine goes on and will allow it to go much faster, about 3 to 4 times the speed, and it will actually power shields. Whereas when it's out of combat, it will just run on the RTGs, and it still manages about 29 meters per second or something. So the idea being it's really like fuel saving in between combat, and then in combat, it just drinks the fuel and does its thing. So ideally, I won't have to keep refueling this thing every like 2 minutes. Over here, you can see I've just added some ammo processors down the side. We've got some resources at the bottom as well. Some ammo. I think this thing carries about 1.4k ammo, along with way too many fuel ammo processors. In fact, like the ammo processors, I probably have too many of them because the energy isn't enough spare to be able to run them and the shields at the same time. Over here, I've added some missiles, and you can see that I've added 6 on each side. And they're actually fairly chunky missiles, right? They're like 5 blocks. And they are fins, predictive guidance, camera, variable thruster, fuel, EMP, explosive, infrared. I'm not really sure about the camera. I'm debating if it's worth getting rid of the camera, to be honest, because the issue with the camera is it used to be, if it's got a camera, it ignores, like, heat decoys and stuff. Or at least I think it used to be. But I found that when testing this, that it still seems to go for heat decoys, and I'm not really sure if the camera's really worth it. That said, it will now aim at a random block rather than just, like, all go to the center of mass, which I guess is an advantage. They're packing EMP and 2 explosive. The reason for the EMP is if it hits an air target, they tend to be small, and the EMP tends to overwhelm the computer quite easily. But when hitting anything else that's metal, you want to use explosive. Frags don't work as well as explosives, especially since the update where they've buffed them. It's also got shield at the front, shield on each side. There is a shield on the rear, and actually there's one underneath as well. So it's got pretty good all-round coverage from shield. So it should bounce a number of projectiles at it. They are on like 6.5 strength, I think. I might reduce that to just free up a bit of power. And then you see over here, I've put on the shell around it, and you've got spaces here for things like jets. This is going to be our roll jets, along with a few ailerons. At the back, we've got some reverse fire thrusters, along with a main engine there. And I think there's going to be a pitch down engine there, and then big space under here for a pitch up engine. In fact, this is a 3x3. Now, you might wonder why I haven't actually added the engines on, and that's because of some weird bugs that I've been encountering way too many times. I actually prefabbed this and was like, I'll just dump the prefab, and the prefab refused to copy engines. I don't know why. But the prefab was like, yeah, you know, I'm not copying engines. Why should I copy engines? Engines are for scrubs. So, God knows why, but apparently it won't copy engines. I also had a lot of trouble making this craft. You might wonder why From the Depths is getting so irregular recently. And that's partly because I'm busy, and also because I'm encountering a lot of bugs where the AI just won't work. Like, when I was making this craft, I spent about 2 hours going, why is it not taking off? Why is it not taking off? Turned out that it was just, it had bugged out, and I needed to replace the AI and all of the engines. Like, the entire craft was fine, but I just need to place them down again. And I need to do that a couple of times. I was actually going to use lure for the missiles. It would allow the missiles to be slightly shorter and make the craft slightly more compact. And also, they would ignore heat decoys. But again, lure code is just not working for me. Not all the time, but quite frequently now, especially in the vehicle designer, not as often as campaign. Lure just, it says it's running, but it just doesn't happen. The lure code does not, like, actually do anything. It says it's running, but it just doesn't seem to. And this is just getting more and more frustrating, especially when I want to use not the default aerial AI, because the default aerial AI is bad. And I want to use the lure AI, and I'm like, well, I can't, because there's like a, 50-50 chance, probably more than that, actually, that it's just not going to work. So, From this is getting a little bit irregular because, frankly, it's taking a lot of time just to get past bugs and stuff. And it's getting kind of frustrating because of that. But you can see here that with all the engines like attached, it's got 3 big ones at the back along with a couple of smaller ones, a number of reverse fire ones, a number of changing pitchy ones, and there's like a load of roll on the side. And it's a pretty good combat thing. So if we just spawn an enemy just to demonstrate like how fast it will go. In fact, I should probably
Listening.
TP to it. Where is it? Hello. Yep, and see me on top of it now. Let's spawn a plain Drake Light. Sure. Suddenly a lot faster. Really good turning circle. And if I'm not controlling missiles, then missiles too. I mean, admittedly, that is a Drake Light, right? We do outclass the Drake Light by quite a margin. You see that we cost just under 130 resource points. I never really go for resource points because I much more prefer to base it on some of the materials and stuff like, metal, which I'm shorter on. Metal is, 13.5k, which is okay. Now, I haven't made it out of light alloy. I've made it out of solid metal. The reason for that is light alloy costs a lot more, like over double. I don't want to put that much resource into each of these planes, so it's going to be slightly slower. It's going to be slightly tougher because metal's better than light alloy, but it's going to be slightly slower because of it. But hey, cheaper. Let's give it something a little bit more, I don't know, skill striders, planes. Right, the Hornet. This is what I actually based the design off of. So let's do a comparison in combat. It's about 50-50, I think. Oh, it started behind me. Well, that's going to be fair. Well, I'll be honest, it doesn't look good for us, does it? Now, also at the back, you'll notice that we do have this, which is a flare deployer, although I'm not really sure it's actually deployed any flares right now. Not seeing any sign that it's actually doing its job. That should be deploying flares. And that doesn't look good for us. Now, you notice that most of our missiles have gone directly towards the Hornet's flare. Although a couple of them have decided to try and take on the Hornet. Now, this is what I basically had a look at when I was planning my design. The engine isn't quite as good as mine. It's a lot, it's more powerful because it's got a double section to it, but I didn't feel I needed all of that power. Although that said, I could probably do a little bit more power to run my ammo processors, but that's that. I don't know if we're faster or not. I think we're certainly cheaper. Yeah, use a lot of radiators to cool your engine because it's so big, which is a bit more inefficient than me. Well, let's see how this goes. We might just die here instantly. Yeah, see, we can take a few hits. Did we fire that flare or did they? Like, honestly, we should be firing the flare. Ah, see, it's taken off a number of our ability to maneuver properly. And our missiles are, again, missing the mark. Ooh. That was painful. Although we did dodge most of them, just due to the fact that we're flying really erratically. Come on. Okay. They are homing. And AI dead. Yeah, we're a lot more resilient. Look at that. So little damage, and yet it goes down. I did try and build this with some sort of defense in mind. Like, you see the ammo is slightly up and towards the back, which is less likely to be hit. But even then, we are still a little bit vulnerable. Now, for the life of me, I cannot figure out why you are not firing on the rear. You should be. Hostile missile closer than 2 kilometers. Yeah, those hostile missiles are definitely closer than 2 kilometers. I guess we'll just say, if enemy vehicle. Activate if enemy range is less than 2,000. 200, sure. Which is unfortunate, because we're going to be firing all the time now, but apparently that's the way we have to go. Right. Spawn me 2 Hornets. To make this fair. Oh, dead ahead. Okay. Ooh. Painful. Well, the one in the distance is out, the one closer is not, and we are currently falling. Looks like the engine got taken out. See if we can get the engine back up and running. Yeah, it's a large chunk of engine taken out. Question is, will we be back in time? Ah, hello. Lovely bug here. Yeah, a lot of the balloon deployers haven't activated, which they should do. Because they were destroyed when hitting the ground. I could do it better with action control blocks, to be honest. Oh god. Careful! Oh! That was a lovely way to expose your ammo supply. Ow. Oh, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. Looks like the engine's down as well. I want to watch the action. Take me back. Take me back. Oh, it looks like it's pretty badly damaged this time. Yeah, they got the ammo. That's the first time I've seen the ammo go. Goodbye, sweet prince. Yeah, it's dead. Okay, now, what if we put it up against loads of Drake, Dusker, Drake Light, Dusker, Drake, Drake Light, Drake Light, Drake Light. There we go. Take them all on. Love how some missiles just go crazy off to the side. Okay, no one's down yet. EMP's not going to be great against these because there are a lot of wood. Oh, hello. Gotta be cautious now. That said, those cannons are unlikely to do a lot of harm to me because of my shields. Ow. Okay. Well, apparently we're all on one at the moment, so I pity you a little bit. And we missed. So what about you? Yeah, that's more like it. Good hit. I've never actually seen the shields doing anything. They're just very rarely actually targeted by proper gunfire. There we go. They're going for decoys and that. Come on. That wasn't very good. No, that was better. Didn't see that one. Okay, turn it. Yes. Now, we're not super fast, but because I'm not using any like cheaty or gimmicky methods to get extra speed, but we're pretty reasonable speed for what we're doing. So a lot of missiles will just miss us because of our closing speed. Oh, that was a good pass. Nice. Come on, one more. There we go. Well, lots. That works too. Okay, one last one. One last one. Head on. Didn't do very much damage. Okay, bring it back, bring it back. Okay, that's probably going to be enough. Yep, that'll do it. Well, we know we can take on the Deepwater Guard. That isn't really, like, news to us, is it? The Deepwater Guard are, you know, I mean, they're the Deepwater Guard. The real test is, of course, when we come against people like the Steel Striders and so forth. For now, though, let's end it with a reasonable fight against non-laser craft, because laser craft are a little bit, obviously, we need to switch our shields over to, you know, anti-laser protection for that. And we don't have enough power to really absorb those kind of hits, but I'm going to go with... Sure. Bring on... What's it? Predator X? Expert? Yeah, do it. This is going to be the final test. They're trying, but they're going to run out of fuel before they close that distance. It's just too fast. Yeah. And it's got guns, which is interesting. Maybe our shields will have a purpose in life. I'm not sure our missiles are actually ever going to be able to hit it, because it's going to be a tail chase situation. Yeah. Let's have, what? The Hake? That's expert. Oh, it's much smaller. We need something, you know, reasonable. Expert, the Raptor. Anything that's godly? The Fury. Sure. Bring it. Oh god, there's quite a lot of missiles. Wow. To be fair, we started off with no missiles because we already used them. Might have been a different story if we actually had more missiles to fire, but I gotta say, you know, it's impressive, nonetheless. I hate how far you just fall through the water.
Listening.
Okay, well apparently we're ready to go. To space. Because of course we are. Yeah, that's great. It's got guns and we're in space now. Lovely. Apparently that cunning plan worked. Though, again, yeah, it's too fast for us. Fine. We have to get it when it's closing. Which means we need to reload, because it's closing now. Reload. 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 Well, not reloading in time. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, you win. You win. You win. We cannot take on much faster craft than us. That's fine. It was godly, and it had more blocks, I think, than us. Know our place. I think that the lesson of that is know our place. But anyway, we're going to have some of those in the campaign, and we're going to have some fun by probably using them as close air support. I won't use them alone. They're going to be basically for the future to be able to protect us against air threats, but also to be able to provide a bit of pounding against against ground targets for now. And maybe, you know, help out a little bit with the Ares and so on of the world. But I've been EnterElysium. If you enjoyed, please like, not subscribe, please consider subscribing. And until next time, stay shiny.